structure.
His name, right.
Mayor Dick Greco gives us Central Ybor and Channel Side. Those are physical structures. Mayor Pam Arroyo, she gives us the Riverwalk. Politicians like structures.
Right. They want something that's their legacy. That's their physical, tangible legacy.
Exactly. You go to the Hoover Dam, that's
Edgar Hoover.
Right, exactly. So you have presidents that want Man on the Moon, that's John Kennedy. People want
they want something. Obamacare.
Yeah.
Barack Obama.
Exactly.
Right.
So they want this thing, and so the structure piece I think is where he's a builder. I build things. That's what I do. I build things. What I do.
They may not last, but I build things.
I build things. So I think for him also, it's a natural thing to have because once it's up, would you agree? I can always say, look, there it is. I built that.
Right.
You know. So,
right. And I think he's also concerned, and this is going to take us straight into the Mueller probe. He's concerned with what's coming down the pike with the Mueller probe, which may erase a lot of his legacy. So now we're finding out
give me an example of that.
We're finding out last night that Robert Mueller does actually have communications between Roger Stone and
I think America has moved beyond whether he communicate, as long as there's no blatant, he handed off $10,000 to a Russian general to do something. Here's what I think about that. But what he's more focused on, he thinks his legacy. I got tax cuts. I got some tax cuts passed. That's my legacy. Those are the things. I'm going to bring troops home from Syria. What mother whose son is in the military won't be happy with that?
And that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you can throw out these treats to people, but there's going to come a time where that treat's not going to have that fulfillment. A treat is only a short-term fix. We're going to start to look when we start to look at overall legacy, what a person does and what they've done.
But that bringing our troops home from Syria is a big deal.
Okay, until the military folks start to talk up and say, hey, you're turning your backs on the Kurds that helped us in Desert Storm.
We've done that. That's nothing new. America's turned its backs on the Allies for hundreds of years. That ain't nothing new there.
I'm speaking as a military person. You know, some of us do still try to have some semblance of integrity. Some of us do.
I don't know. I don't know if that's integrity. I know that we owe the Kurds a lifelong mechanism of protection forever.
You know what? Well, I'm going to say this. I was there, and they helped protect me, so I do. Because we could have got smoked over there. We could have got not free smoke. We could have got all smoke over there. We could have got chemical smoke over there. But they basically saved our lives, and that's why you see some of those mostly the Desert Storm veterans. Those are the ones that you're hearing really piping up, saying, "Hey, we can't leave these guys."
But you got to know who you're in bed with, and I don't want to drift off too much in an international discussion. But the Kurds are a disenfranchised group of Turkish citizens who are saying, look,
who had their land stolen.
Give us northern Iraq, give us a piece of southern Turkey, give us a little bit of Syria. We want our own country.
Right.
So we're over there with the Kurds, and Turkey's like, look, but they want to overthrow the Turkish government.
Right. Now that we can't agree with. But as far as that northern part of Iraq, I have no problem with giving them that area because of what they do.
We don't own any of this.
Yeah,
we don't decide who gets what.
And I'm not saying that we do, but I'm saying just in all fairness as to what they did and how they supported the United States, I have no problem with it. I'm not.
If you owned it, yeah. But you can't go to my neighbor's house and say, hey, listen, these guys over here really help me
Iraq right now?
The Iraqis do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Who owns Iraq right now?
And that's why I'm gonna just throw this tease right there, because I know DJ CEO is pushing his buttons. He gonna hit it with the
I'm gonna tell y'all who really owns Iraq.
I'm gonna tell you. And that's why you got a problem in Venezuela, because of that very question you just asked. Who owns Iraq?
Right. The United States.
And that's why you got a problem in Venezuela right now.
And because we do, since we're gonna use our bully pulpit certain places, let's use it where we should use it. Yeah, we own Iraq.
Listen, and that is a very un-Republican position for you to take.
Well, I'm not a Republican, so I mean, I'm an independent, so I'm trying to make everybody happy.
Conceptually, the idea that we control other countries' destiny,
and we shouldn't. We absolutely shouldn't.
What you get a point is we do.
We do,
and
right.
that is why the Caribbean is. I don't want to get too far now. Why the Caribbean is a mess.
Right.
I heard a great speech one time by Castro. And he said the difference between Cuba and the rest of the Caribbean is we have our dignity and you don't.
Right. Because
we all poor.
He stood,
but
right.
we got our dignity.
He stood up to America.
But be that as it may, though, I think all of this stuff comes back to a simple dynamic. We elected a person who does not understand the history of America, international relations. He's knee-jerk, and he's talking emergency. And historically, emergencies weren't where you couldn't get the money from Congress you were asking for. It was like critical. We don't have time for that, guys. We got to do something right now.
Right.
Take action, and then we'll get the legislative structure in place. So I think that's going to be his weakest point with that emergency declaration.
Absolutely, and it's not going to make it through the courts. I mean, I think it's going to be struck down. It's going to be struck down pretty quickly. Based on some of the his ad libs yesterday. We got to go to a break.
His ad libs.
We close.
His ad libs are just. I can't wait for the best stuff tape to come out.
Oh, man, it's ridiculous. Look, I tell you something else we're going to touch on today.
Okay.
After we get through some of this politics, we're going to touch on the Kaepernick situation.
What situation?
I don't think there is. I am happy.
There is no situation any longer.
I am happy. And all y'all who on Facebook who didn't like what I said, that's your business. I'm coming with it. I'm coming with it.
How much money y'all think he got? I want to know. How much did 10, 15, 20
straight up
mil?
the middle on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. I'm an independent.
I'm a Republican.
I'm a Democrat. And you're listening to Straight Up the Middle.
Straight Up the Middle, Tampa Bay's premier Saturday morning talk show focusing on politics, hot topics, and current events, where we have open, civil, respectful dialogue, which we hope is not only informational, but also entertaining. Join us at 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings for Straight Up the Middle on In Touch News.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers on the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Hi, this is Dr. Veronica Walters, also known as Dr. V, the head of school at the Academy for Entrepreneurship, a place that we like. Inquisitive, creative, business-minded, then maybe you need to check The Way out. Listen, we have an educational platform that allows for individualized instruction. It's strength-based, project-based, and designed to help your students become the absolute best they can while starting their own business and being an entrepreneur. If you're looking for something different and you need to find a more excellent way, then you need to visit us at The Way. That's The Way, www.thewaetampa.org. Or you can call us at 813-603-7923. We look forward to showing your student a more excellent way at The Way.
In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. You're back on Straight Up the Middle. We were about to jump into the Kaepernick conversation, but before we get there, I want to make sure that we commemorate those who were killed in the shooting yesterday. The 5 people, I think 5 officers, were also in Aurora, Illinois yesterday.
Well, I didn't get the full story. What was the situation?
Apparently, the young man had been stressed out. He was about to lose his job, or he just lost his job. He came back in
to the workplace.
Yeah, came back into the work.
Yeah,
and I heard someone talking to the mother
of him,
his mother. And she's in a bad way.
I could imagine that.
She didn't want to even give her name. If we think about it,
these are tough times. I mean, and I don't know when it's not been tough times until you look back after you've been going on to tougher times, and you say, "Man, that wasn't so bad back then." But you never know what people, what they're going through, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing. And we have to sometimes, we see employees, people that we work with, we have to be thoughtful about stuff. You just never know what somebody's breaking point
Absolutely.
is and what they're going, because it's just life. I mean, sometimes when I think, man, this is tough, they're like, whoa, wait, that last thing we went through, wow, that was really tough. This may be, not nearly the same thing, but you're right about that. It's a great time to be reflective and think about the people that we work with, we interact with, and be a little more thoughtful about how we engage with those people, because you never know where they are.
You're absolutely spot on, and that's something, and I'm you kind of convicted me, because I'm starting something that I'm going to post on LinkedIn about using your credit card every day as a leader. If you're a manager, or and not even a manager, but if you got coworkers, you should be using your credit card. And when I say your credit card, encourage people every day. We're at the workplace 8 hours a day, sometimes more.
Right.
And you don't know what that person is going through at the house. You don't know what their financial circumstances are. You don't know what their family circumstances are. You don't know. And sometimes, just a kind word, or letting people know that you give to about them, it can help them. It can go a long way. Use that credit card.
I own my own firm now, and I'm very conscious and deal with employees as it relates to the insensitivity that I felt as an employee myself, work for people. I remember when I needed time off, or my kids were sick, or I didn't feel well, the car didn't work right, traffic was bad, the weather held me up. And I'm very, very conscious of that, and dealing with our staff, trying to convey to them, listen, this is a place where we're not going to add to the stresses of your life outside of here.
Exactly. I appreciate that,
I will tear your butt up in here for what's going on. But if you say, oh, my kid's sick in school, great, we'll see you tomorrow.
That's it.
You say you got a car problem, hey, deal with that, we'll see you when you get here. You create an environment, though, where people can be as productive as they can and get treated like people.
Exactly. I think we've all been through those situations, what my grandfather used to call those learn what not to do situations.
Hey, let me tell you, there were a number of times. Nobody I worked with really knew Clint. My wife is getting to know Clint, but they didn't know Clint. And any minute, man, I could have tore the whole place down.
Hey, I'm right there with you. We must have taken that same class, man.
Nah, them cotton fields, they'll do it to you. Any
but
minute.
Look, hey, you know what? And I don't want to use that as a segue, but some would, that cotton field. Let's talk about Kaepernick.
What you want to say? What about
Kaepernick?
What about Kaepernick?
I'm glad that they settled. I'm glad that it came to a place where we're starting to see the NFL. They didn't want these conversations. They didn't want these emails. They didn't want that stuff made public, because we would have really seen the collusion that took place to keep this man out of the NFL.
So you think there were emails and communication between owners? And
absolutely, because there's no way you're going to tell me Colin Kaepernick should not be on an NFL roster. The guy, he took the team to the Super Bowl, and some of these people want to point to, his stats were this and that, but they could make these same arguments or different arguments for individuals that were failing and had different offensive coordinators. He had 3 different offensive coordinators since Harbaugh.
You're making a talent argument.
I'm making the talent argument. I mean, strictly, that's what it is. If we're just going to look at it from a base level, he should have been in the NFL because he had the talent to outplay some of these quarterbacks that were given opportunities.
Well, could the same argument be made about Ray Rice, though, after his situation?
I'll look at it from this.
To say we're not going to give him a chance either.
I'll look at it from this perspective, though. And to be fair, with Ray Rice, he was a running back. And I mean, a running back gets to a place where there are diminishing returns.
No. He was top 3, though, when that situation happened.
Well, but again, you look at it. If you look at the analytics on it, and I'm not one of these guys that strictly uses analytics, but he was probably at a place where there was going to start to be some diminishing returns. And so you look at those diminishing returns and line that up against the public opinion. Was it really worth it?
I'm not buying any of that. I think it's the same collusion. The difference is people got behind one person's issue and they want and raise sensitivity to it, and the other person, what he did is kind of thing nobody can really kind of say to out loud they support. That's to one person, you can understand and validate.
Well, and
the
that's
other
my
person
point.
Cannot.
You can't.
I don't think his talent has anything to do with it. I don't because Anderson. I'm not a football guy. You people out there listening, maybe you all are. You call in and correct me.
I'm a football aficionado.
But the running back that they picked up for the Rams was sitting at home. Yep. On nobody's roster, been cut. They brought him in. The man did great. And what I'm saying is there are talented players all over this country who are not playing.
Well, we know that, but again, if you're going back to just using the analytics of what usually happens in a running back's career. I mean, C.J. Anderson, actually, it was good that he was at home. He wasn't beat up throughout the year, so when he came in, he was fresh. And every time C.J. Anderson has been in a good system, I mean, the guy has balled out. Look in Denver. I mean, that system, he ran the ball down people's throats. He did it to us. He did it to the Cowboys.
Right. No.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand. But with Ray, again, and you go back to the film, even when I look at it in my mind right now, no. I mean, you're going to have too much of a backlash from the public supporting something like that. You know, the way he punched his wife in the face, it's
she
not
wasn't his wife at the time, I don't think.
Okay.
And I don't want to get into this.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. You know what we did well? What time is it? It's 20 minutes in.
There you go.
The views of one of the co-hosts do not necessarily reflect those of Straight Up the Middle.
You cannot hit your wife, your girlfriend.
You can't do it.
You can't do it.
That's one of those fire button things that America just will not forgive you for, and especially when they see it.
I'm just saying that I think his collusion case mirrored, what happened with the '68 Olympics and Juan Carlos. It mirrored what happened with Muhammad Ali. And America has not liked what they did to those athletes. And that's why I think Colin Kaepernick's situation was a little more sensitive. He took a political.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between taking a political stance and people saying they don't want you in the office because
my understanding also
because you have violent tendencies.
I also think I understand that John Elway gave a really good deposition regarding him because John Elway had tried to trade to get him to Denver.
Right, and that was on Kaepernick. Kaepernick.
But he was trying to get him there, and they couldn't work out a deal.
Right.
And they were like, dude, so explain to us now that he's available, you're not trying to get him. He's like, oh, you got to go talk to somebody else about that.
Right.
And they control that. I don't.
And then I also heard, and I hear these arguments that Kaepernick was just about money. Was it AAF, the new league, wanted him, and he wanted $20 million to play.
I don't know. I thought he turned him down. I heard
he did.
And somebody else
they said
turned him
that.
down.
I don't know how true it is. Do we got a call coming in, or? Yeah. Good morning, caller. You're on Straight Up the Middle. What's your name? Where you calling from? We'll get it right.
Good morning. It's Carl, the True Live crew.
Hey,
Carl, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Donald Trump, man. I see why he was stuck in the court in case he had to pull this little stunt he did.
That's right.
So right. So but my question would be, somebody in his political party, in his cabinet, need to shake this guy, man. Say, hey, look, man, you are a real idiot. And,
you're presuming he doesn't. You're presuming he doesn't know he's an idiot. He might know he's an idiot and be like, "Hey, this is how I am."
Right. He don't. He really don't.
But let me ask you this though: Why do you say he's an idiot though? What things you think make him an idiot?
Carl, you still there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I'm saying because he admits that he listens to Sean Hannity.
Oh wow!
Okay.
He admits that he listens to Sean Hannity.
Okay, I'm okay with that. That's
enough for you, right?
But I listen to Sean too. I listen to Sean. I listen to Rush. I don't listen to get my information. I just want it's entertainment.
Right. So and even Ann Coulter, he and Ann Coulter are breaking up now.
They don't talk.
Yeah, they don't talk.
They don't talk.
Yeah, and he doesn't follow her yet. He responds to her tweets, but okay.
So, but he admits that he takes his advice from them. So.
Right.
Carl, where you at this week?
Yeah. I am rolling down through Missouri now, headed back down to Indiana, man.
Okay.
Pick up some more loads, man.
What part of Missouri?
Head to the house. Right here, going through Effingham.
Okay. Yeah, I used to live in the Loop.
Hey, easy, man. Easy. Listen, a lot of people listen to our show, man. The Smokies might be out there, and they see now they know where to look for you at. Easy, man. Easy.
Hey, Carl, take it easy, man. We appreciate you calling in.
All right, be safe, bro.
That's Carl from Tampa.
He's from Georgia. Grew up in Tampa.
Okay.
Grew up in Tampa.
All right. So, but again, back to the the whole thing with Trump and just trying to be this renegade, that's all base. That's base action. That's satisfying.
What would you expect him to do at this phase in his political position?
He's got to. You know, I was thinking yesterday just how time flies. We got an election next year.
Yeah.
And so this stuff is going to be ramped up even more so. And you know what? Speaking of that, I got some work for you too.
Man, what this is like school? You said
New York could have had Amazon. They lost Amazon.
And there were other people that would have been upset if they came.
Well, and it was just these people that are in a position to take care of themselves from what I'm looking at. We're talking about city council people, Ocasio-Cortez, and her statement yesterday, and this is the thing that's starting to turn me off with her.
I didn't know you was turned on the first part.
Well, I never was.
Right,
but
I was just about to say.
You know, I was trying to give her a chance. Hey, she's young, she's naive, she's trying to get there, but now I'm about to be done with her.
Doesn't her statement yesterday, before you say it, reflect that she's young and naive, though? That's all. That's
no. I think there's a difference between being naive and then having an agenda. And she said after, you know, the back and forth, she said, well, what we proved was that the people can be stronger than the richest man in the world. And even when the new Green Deal was rolled out, and this is not the basis for it, but the Republicans heard some of the clamoring about the 70% thing that she was talking about behind closed doors. It's like she wants to punish people for being successful. This thing of paying people for not working.
Whoa. Be careful.
No.
Two words I never mix together, and Trump is an example of that. I never mix wealthy with successful. They're not the same thing.
Okay, well, I'm going to say successful from a business standpoint, from taking care of yourself standpoint. If you want to leave it like that, and you're right. Holistic success is not just based on money. It's not that, but people that have been able to use the American system, the capitalist American system, to make themselves successful, I can't be mad at you for that.
And I'm not mad at you either, particularly if you've been one of those people where the system has been skewed to keep you from being successful.
Right.
And then you still got, I'm not. Right. So just got to.
And I have no problem with Jeff Bezos, his story. I mean, he started something that turned into what it is.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at that. But it seems like she wants to go after these individuals, and particularly they wanted to go after Amazon because they felt that, I think more than anything else, Bezos was going to come to New York and be the king of New York.
No, you can't come. New York is New York. You're not going to come. That's one of the one things I've learned about business. That's why most big corporations stay away from big cities, because they don't need you.
Right, they don't. And so as we see, but the problem on the back end of that is there are people in that city that needed Amazon. This could have